Hey guys, what's up? So I've been seeing a lot of stuff about like Gypsy Rose Blanchard and whatnot. I'm actually watching the act for like the third time, and there's like Gypsy says that she won't watch the act because she lived it and whatnot. But what I think she should do is watch it, go through it, and literally tell you everything that's wrong and everything that's correct, and like explain everything that's wrong and what they got wrong and how it actually was. you know, like instead of refusing to watch it, she should watch it and then go through and make videos about like what's right and what's not right in it. We might find some stuff out that maybe we didn't know, maybe she hasn't said yet. You know, um, and there's a lot of people having a lot of different like theories and stuff, I guess, about like maybe she went back in after Nick and stabbed her mom a few times or whatever. I heard that one from a YouTuber, I think. Um, hmm. I'm just trying to think, like, there's just a lot of theories and stuff going around. Like, there's people hoping that she goes back to jail. There's people hoping that Nick gets a retrial because it wasn't fair because of his autism, which I don't blame people. It wasn't. It wasn't too fair, actually. Like, you manipulated an autistic man into committing murder for your mom, but yet he gets to serve life and you get off with, like, 10 years and you only had to serve, like, 7, 8 of those years. Like, personally, that's not fair to me because you were part of this. Like, you manipulated him into killing your mother for you. And he was autistic and had, these disorders and stuff. And I say disorders because in the interview he said that he might have bipolar, but he was never diagnosed with it. And that he used to take meds when he was younger because he would hear voices in his head. So I honestly, I don't think the whole thing is fair. Honestly, I really think that there should be a retrial and they should go back and visit some of the stuff that happened and the evidence and what doesn't add up. Because there's a lot of people realizing that there's things that are still not adding up to this day. Like, there's a lot of YouTubers right now going around and making these videos about her and whatnot, and all of this stuff about how, they're theorizing things and about all the stuff that, like, it's not adding up that she said, but then she contradicts herself and says something else. And there's a lot of people thinking that she's probably pregnant with Ryan's baby and not Ken's. And my thing is, I want to see the DNA test come back. I want to see whose baby it is when that DNA test comes back. Because if it's Ryan's, she either gets back with him or gets child support out of him. It's one of those options. You can either raise the baby with him or you can get child support and, go through a custody battle. Like, it's your choice. Now, if it's Ken's baby and not Ryan's, well, you're already with him, but if you separate from him, then you'd have the whole case of going through custody and child support and all that with him, if that were to happen. But, there's, like, a lot of stuff going on with her, and, the whole she's pregnant baby thing right now. And there's a lot of people theorizing stuff in her case. And honestly, like, I think a retrial would be fair. I think that would be fair in Nick's case. I'm not saying what he did was right. He shouldn't have killed her. Obviously not, but Gypsy somehow persuaded and manipulated him into doing so to get away from her mom. But there's so many different ways that she could have handled it and it could have gone down. Half the records weren't right. And if doctors would have came forward sooner, like, saying that the records and all of that was not even true or right, if a doctor would have came forward sooner and said something to the police and was like, hey, look, this isn't right, this isn't true, I denied them help because I know she's just doing this as a fraud scheme. The people that were onto her should have said something sooner. And the doctors that helped her do the stuff to Gypsy, get her the feeding tube and all the surgeries or whatever happened, all that stuff that happened and like whatever, all those doctors that did that, I honestly think that they should have been charged too. They should have been charged and arrested too for malpractice and whatever else the charges could have been. It's not, the whole thing isn't fair, and there's things that don't add up. There's doctors that should have came forward sooner, doctors that should have been charged with malpractice and whatever else, and honestly, the whole thing needs a retrial. I think the whole thing should get a retrial, honestly. Like, Nick sitting in jail for life is not fair to him. He's got autism, he needs help mentally, he knows that. He admitted that to investigators and whatnot, and Gypsy tried to sit there and lie her way through it. And they knew she was lying. They were telling her, like, don't lie. This ain't right, just tell us the truth, And yeah, she got way less time than he did. And that honestly wasn't fair. I think that Nick should get a retrial and get less time, or, get charges, released and dropped and get help. And honestly, I think Gypsy should go back to jail. I really think she should. Because it's not fair. None of this is fair at all. And there's a lot of shit that people are starting to realize does not add up about her story. And she's lying and contradicting herself. And there's a lot of people proving that. Like, Flawless Nina and Fancy. They're both proving a lot of shit. Because Fancy has all of the paperwork and documents and stuff that Christy gave her when she started doing her whole research or whatever on it. And she's still digging. She's digging deeper too. Like, her and Flawless Nina, those two are digging. They are digging into this shit. Like, hardcore digging. Like, they're digging for answers that people want to know and people want to find. Like, they're digging, they're finding it. And, like, there's a lot of people starting to realize stuff ain't adding up, like, anywhere. So, overall, this whole thing, I think she should go back to jail, and I think they should both get a retrial, and Nick should be let go. That's my opinion.